Hi, I'm Dan from Real Mac Software, and we've got an exciting week for you this week. We're going to be looking at mobile navigation. Now, I know this is something you guys have been asking for a while. How does it work in Elements? And we've been working on this for a little while, and so I'm going to demo it now for you. I've got 3 demo sites today to show you, and they're all very different menus, so hopefully you can get an idea of how flexible and powerful the navigation element is. So let's take a look at the first site. I've got the expensive lampshade site we worked on last week, I think. So I've already dropped in a menu and configured it, and we've got the menu up here. And when you drop it in, it's just a menu bar at the top there. Now, I will say this is just the mobile navigation, this one. We're separating the mobile and desktop navigation so you can choose at what breakpoints you want them. But today we're going to focus on mobile nav. So anyway, so I've got this set up here, and there's 2 ways I can preview this. One, I can scroll down here. These are all the settings for the menu in here. But there's an option in here to preview the menu in edit mode. So when I check this, it pops into view. So that's one way to have a look at this, and I'll go through the settings in a minute. And the other way is obviously to hop over to preview mode, and then it's a fully functioning menu there. So we can have a look at that, and it's just fading in. So I'll go back to edit mode, and I'm going to switch on preview in edit so that we can see what we're working on. Now here you can see I've got my, let's go to pages. This is automatically generated. So the navigation is, you don't need to do anything, it's auto generated. So if I come in here, and we'll add a new page, and let's call this wall, because we might have some wall lights. And if I go back to home, you'll see there it's updated, and I've got all my menu options. And let's just hop over to preview, and then I can turn this down. There you go, and you can see all my options there. And this is great because I haven't had to do anything, it's just automatically generated that for me. So you might be looking at this and thinking that looks great. Where do those buttons come from, and how do I add buttons into my navigation? Well, this is actually a drop zone here, and we can drop anything into this area. So I could build this however I wanted to. So if I wanted to put in, let's have a look here. I could put in a heading, and I could just drop that in, and then I've got a heading in there. So you know, I drop in an image. And now we've got an image in our menu, which we don't really want at the moment. So I've got these 2 buttons, and that's great. So let's go here, and we can see the tree. Now, this works great at all breakpoints. You can see here as I scale up and down, it looks great. Now, let's customize this menu a bit because, well, one thing that I know I want to do, these buttons, while they look great and they work on the mobile breakpoints here, then they don't look so great on here, because on these desktop and iPad type breakpoints, because now they're really long buttons. So one thing of course we can do here is we're going to select the flex. And when we come to this breakpoint, we want the buttons to appear side by side. So what I can do, I can change the direction of how they're split. So now when we get to this breakpoint, that's why I click on this blue dot here, because it overrides everything above this will get these settings. So now on mobile, they're side by side. And when I pop up to, we'll say iPad, now they're side by side, whereas on mobile they're stacked on top of each other. So it's really simple, and you can see the little option changing there. If you've been following along, you've seen this stuff before, so it's really flexible. But this is just to show you that in menus there's this area where you can put in whatever you want and customize it. Now, so we fixed that, but with my menu here, I'm thinking, well, I don't really want it always to be full width. And can I change that with the settings? Yep, so we've got a lot of things in here. So if I scroll down, now I've already pre-configured this a little bit. So this is the position of our menu. And I've got this offset here. Like if I reset those back to 0, you can see the menu is butted up against the edges. But really, I want that on 15px because I like the gap around the edge. And I can use other values in here. So I can use like percentages, rem, VW, like the vertical width, etc. And you can see that I've done that here. I've got, this is the width and the height of this menu. So I could set this to full, but that's not what I want. I could set it to auto and it will just try and scale it to the width of what I've got in there, but I don't want that either. I've got it on custom. Hang on, let me set the height to auto because that's good. But on custom here, we also support CSS calculations. So in this setting, I've got a calculation of make the menu 100% of the vertical width, but minus 30px. And I've done that because we've got this offset of 15. So if I removed this, you can see this, because I've offset the menu by 15 pixels, it's actually now pushed it off the screen a bit. So I put in the minus 30 so that it brings it back to 15, would bring it back to here, and another 15 brings it in. So now we get a nice even border around the edge. Hope that makes sense. But we're set to 100 vertical width. But what I can do is, if I don't want it to be full width all the time, I could say I just want this to be 50% of the vertical width. So now when as I scale this down, you can see it's always sticking to being 50%. And, you know, maybe I want that 60 or 70% because that's a bit better. So it works a bit better on mobile. So now you can see that's looking pretty good. Let's just set it to 60 so we can see there. So that's pretty nice. What else do I want to change in this? Because, you know, I'm building my fancy lamp website, and people aren't going to spend a ridiculous amount on these lamps unless the site is looking just so. So I want to make it a bit more fancy. So this menu here, I want this to be, I don't want to hide my lamps, you know, I want people to always be able to see them. So what we can do is we can drop the opacity on this. So we could bring this down to here, and now people can always see the lamps through the menu. And we can add a blur as well. So I can up that. Which is very nice. You can still see the lamps, but they're kind of behind a frosted pane of glass, which is which I kind of like this effect. It's kind of very classy effect, I think, for my lamp site. So let's go and preview this, and yeah, there we are. So now I can scroll there, and we'll bring that back in a little bit. And if I click this, we can see my other settings. And these all work. So that's really nice. So now I've got this lovely effect. And I think the changes we've made on here are an improvement to the site. So you can see all the settings in here. There's a lot of things we can tweak in here, from the icons to the spacing to the layout. You know, and I've got lines in between here, and we can turn those on and off and customize those. We can change the border effects. We can put a pixel border around it and change the width. We can change the shadow here. So I can just change this on the fly. So you can see that updating live there. So, you know, I might want that. And, you know, with the shadows, I can add as many as I want. And I could change the color, and I can offset those. Let's remove that because it doesn't look particularly great. And we can also use our pre-built shadows, like we've talked about before, that are set up in the theme studio. So if we want to keep things consistent, I can use the options in there. I can change spacing. I can change where the close icon appears, and, you know, I can change the size of it and the offset there, so I can bring that in as far as you want. Opacity, colors. Navigation list, we've got options there for the nav items, text styles, so this is really, really configurable. So let's move on and look at a couple of the other menus, and you can kind of see how different you can make them. So now I've got the Real Mac site here, and you can see we've got some icons in the side here. Now this is a new feature in Elements. Again, this is not tied specifically to the menu element. I'll show you how that works in a second. Maybe we could go back and look at the lamp site to show you that. So, and here is my drop zone for adding buttons and things or anything I want into here. And I've got the logo up here on this one as well. So let's quickly look at these, and then I'll come back and customize this a bit, I think. So these icons, we can set these up in the page inspector here. You can give each. This is a temporary location for this. This is not the final settings here. This here hasn't been reworked yet. We've got some good ideas for this, but I'll save that for another time. So this icon here, you can give each page a custom icon, and that will appear in your navigation. So if I go back to the lamp site, and let's pick the lamp page, and if I get the inspector up here, this has not got anything at the moment, so I've got this light bulb, and I'm going to drop that into there, and let's go back to our page with the menu on it. So you can see it's put the icon on here. It doesn't look particularly great because we're going to need to customize that. Let's have a look now. Now I'm going to have to see if I can find the setting. I've dropped that in, but here we are. So I can set the size of the icon here, so I can switch that on and off. So if these had icons, we can easily see what they look like with and without. So there we go. So that looks pretty good. So I could add icons. You could imagine, I think this menu would be pretty nice if we went through and added nice little icons for all of these, but I'm not going to bore you with that. You can see you could do it if you wanted to. And here we've also got the option for a slogan. So I can give a slogan to these. Now we haven't finished this feature yet. As you can see, it says hard-coded slogan for now, we'll fix soon. So that's not quite in there, but I wanted to demo this to you anyway to show where we are with it. Right, let's get on and hop back over to our menu. So yeah, you can see I've got the slogans for the pages here, which I think is a nice feature, and I think I will, on the Real Mac site, I'm going to use that because it would be quite nice to give a little bit of information about what each thing is. So these menu items, you'll notice we've got a nice border and a background to each item, and again, that is all configurable in here. There's so many settings in here. This is so powerful. You'll have to excuse me because also it's a new element. So Ben's added so much stuff to here. I'm still working out all the options and remembering where things are. So you can see with these, we've got, I think this is the setting here. Yeah, so this is the, I can change the color of this, and we can give it a nice blue tint. And we can also change the width and things like that. I seem to have lost my icon there. That is, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe the document needs reloading there. That's a bit of a bug. Don't worry. It doesn't really matter for this demo. Right, let me put that back because I quite like the. I'm working on borders there. Sorry. Here's the background. Let me put that on grey, and get that down. So so that's how that works, and you can change the position between them and the spacing. But here on this Real Mac menu, let's have a look. I want to add let's see what the animation is at the moment. So if I click this, it slides in there. So again, let's go, let's see where the width is. So in a custom width, so we could say 60 vertical width. That's pretty good. And I think we want, let's have a look. Yeah, so we can change the opacity here. Like if we want to, when the menu comes in, if we want to hide the background, or we, you know, maybe we want to slightly blur the background, and you can see that going on there. Let's just change that to 40. So yeah, you can see that blurring, which is quite nice. And if I was designing this site, maybe I'd do something like this, and a bit blurry. That's quite nice. And the position of the menu, I actually want it on the right side. So let's get rid of that. So that's looking a lot nicer. And let's have a look. I'm looking for my... that's the problem. We've made this super configurable. And because I'm not familiar with it, I'm losing where the settings are. So we could add a shadow onto here. You can see that come in there. Let's we'll just turn that to black, and we'll blur that. So now maybe we will maybe on this one we will lighten the background so we can see that little drop shadow, and that is the offset here, how much it comes out. Yeah, let's go up here. And where was our... yeah, so you can see that shadow down this edge here, which is quite nice. So slide in from the right, fast, nice. Let's preview this. So here's the site, and if I click on here, nice, then we've got our full length menu coming in there with our little overlay. Oh, there's no, let's blur the backdrop again. Yeah. So there you can see when the menu comes in, this gets a bit darker and it blurs that. So that's looking pretty cool. And I could add some more buttons down here and whatever else I wanted to. So we've got this menu, which is a pop out and doesn't take the full width. And then we've got a nice full length menu here. Yeah, and only going to there. So you can see that's two different menus. And now let's go and have a look at my art school menu. Now you might remember this from a few weeks ago. It was a bit more of a jazzy website to kind of show you that, you know, anything is possible here. We can really go to town and make websites that look good and make websites that look not so good. So on here I can, let's just go straight in and hit preview. I've already set this up, and if I click this menu, we've got this nice, now this menu appears in the middle and it is rather jazzy. We've got some images and a button and then some nice things here. So this really shows you how these menus can look completely different. You know, you can really design what you want, because this menu looks nothing at all like this. Probably for the best, you know, so you can really design whatever you want. It's super flexible. And of course, you know, this, you could just, this mobile menu, while it's set up for mobile, it really, this could be your desktop menu as well, you know. But we'll show you the vertical or the horizontal navigation stuff for desktop later. I just wanted to focus on mobile here just to show you really how flexible this stuff is. So yeah, there we go. So I think I set this up. Maybe did I set this up? Yeah, in the So I've set this up in here. So we could apply this style to lots of other objects in our site. You know, let's hide our menu. So yeah, if I wanted to make these similar, then I could give that style to these items in here as well. So yeah, so there we are. That's another update on Elements, and I hope for the menu stuff, I really want to hear, like, if you've got good examples of things you want to build, like mobile navigation you want to build, I'd really love to see those so we can make sure that you can do it in Elements. Because we've added all the things we think we need, like to create a wide array of menus, but maybe we're missing a few settings. Let us know. So if you've got some good examples of sites, send them, or post them in the comments, and we can take a look at those. That'd be really, really good. Yeah, let us know what you think. That's all for today. So thanks for watching this, and I will see you next week as always. All right, cheers, bye.